Hello.
Yeah, hello everybody. This is the Advertising Week Asia panel, and the purpose-driven innovation ecosystem is having a chat with the with the head of sustainability at Amazon Japan. Welcome to the session, Rita, and maybe you can just briefly introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you, Christian. Thank you for the invitation. We are really happy to be here. So my name is Rita. I've been with Amazon for 3 years. And currently, I'm based in Japan, leading the sustainability strategy in line with our global goals. Nice to meet you all.
And we are very excited to have especially Amazon, also as Jeff Bezos has announced the huge package, which is $10 billion actually, to dedicate to mitigating climate change. And he also funded what is it called? The Bezos Earth Fund?
Yeah, Bezos Earth Fund, and we have also the Climate Pledge. We have additional funds ongoing in line with our carbon pledge. Yeah. There's a lot of investments going with Amazon and with Jeff Bezos privately as well.
Great. So you will highlight these kind of things a little bit more in detail afterwards. And before we do that, I would like to share about the purpose-driven innovation ecosystem and about one specific project, which we call the SDGs Lounge. So the purpose-driven innovation ecosystem is bringing together a global ecosystem of change makers, innovators, entrepreneurs, and government officers and investors. And with all kind of business, which we are talking about, in the beginning, when somebody starts a business, there's always the reason why. And that's why do I create a company? To solve a problem, to actually contribute to society, to contribute to the environment. And it's not primarily to make profit. It's also to make profit. And in the sustainability, we have the term people, planet, profit. So the vision is co-creating a better tomorrow by finding the most impactful and sustainable innovations and scale them to international markets. We focus on renewable energy, clean water, food and agriculture, and circular economy. We build locally and scale globally. And the innovation ecosystem consists of corporations, startups, also R&D and academia. We have a purpose-driven investor network, and we also collaborate with governments because sometimes frameworks have to be shifted. And purpose-driven individuals can contribute to their projects. We have one specific project, which we call the SDGs Lounge. The Sustainable Development Goals have set an agenda which was put forward in 2015 with the Paris Agreement in order to pave the future until 2030. We have seen this young girl made a lot of noise in the world, and the young generation is demanding now from brands also that they have to be sustainable. Greta is demanding that we all do something together and listen to the scientists. In the workshop, the SDGs ambassador will be created, and in each company we give a certificate to an SDGs ambassador so that continuously sustainability measures and innovation can be propagated in a corporation. We have international contributors from, at the moment, 11 countries, and we are expanding to 20 countries. So we have an international access for corporations in Japan, and we want to focus on Japanese companies. These are a few of our global ecosystem partners, and that should be it for the purpose-driven innovation ecosystem. And now we want to go to the topic of sustainability, and especially we have Rita from Amazon here. And the first question would be what Amazon is actually doing to mitigate climate change. What kind of sustainability measures do you have in your company?
Thank you, Christian. Let me share my screen. Okay, so Amazon announced last year the consolidation of several years of work towards reducing the business carbon impact. And we co-funded with Global Optimism, the Climate Pledge, which is a commitment to meet the Paris Agreement 10 years earlier. Now, Amazon is a very big business, and our thought was, if Amazon can do it with all the different business verticals that we have within the same umbrella, then anybody can. And this was a little bit the challenge that we wanted to set ourselves for, and also to extend to other big industry players across the different streams. So thinking big, with the Climate Pledge, we announced a couple of commitments that are very focused on our operation and energy consumption. So, and the Climate Pledge is 100% net zero carbon by 2040. This is the ultimate goal of the Climate Pledge. In Amazon, we are rethinking all our supply chain to meet 50% of all shipments with zero added carbon by 2030. This, for example, means that you as a customer, you will receive a package at home or an order at home without any added carbon by Amazon on facilities in terms of energy, transportation, so implementing zero emission vehicles, and no added, no secondary packaging on the product that has a carbon impact. So the shipment zero commitment is a very big challenge we are all facing globally currently. Then we are also committed to reach 80% of renewable energy by 2024 and 100% by 2030. And recently, Jeff Bezos has teased us in the shareholder letter to meet the 100% renewable energy 5 years before this target. So all the teams are working really hard across the globe to meet these goals. Finally, we are consolidating all our actions and all our traceability in public reports that are also done, and the methodology is done in partnership with outside organizations that help us to align and have a proper standard and methodology on the carbon reporting metrics. So we are seeking transparency as much as we can in this global reporting. So this kind of summarizes the Climate Pledge. And what does this mean? As I mentioned, we are putting our efforts across all the different business units, from Amazon Video to AWS, to operations, to the retail, to our private brands, to our devices. And focusing only on operations, for example. We are, as I mentioned, delivering shipment zero, so we are redesigning and eliminating partially our packaging. We're investigating new materials to reduce the carbon impact and the material waste from the packaging while we are not able to eliminate, which then ultimately has an impact as well in reduction of carbon emissions from transportation. Then still with shipment zero, we are targeting with on-site and off-site solar and wind investments. These are the two main streams currently we are focusing on for renewable energy, but we are not specifically picky with any type of renewable energy. So we are exploring globally, and currently we have over 2.2 gigawatt power generated by our global efforts in renewable energy. At the same time, we are also rethinking our building design to understand how can we be more energy efficient, and also what kind of equipment and what kind of materials can we use to reduce the carbon impact from our facilities. And then finally, the transportation and supply chain, we are thinking end to end, how can we eliminate all the emissions from all our transportation systems, which is a very big deal, from inbound the operation of all the inventory coming to the warehouse up to getting out of the warehouse and delivering it to the customer. On top of this, we are also understanding how can we engage all the Amazonians in this change. We believe that this change is not a one single department goal, and this is why we have a defined strategy that is being implemented and metrics that we are extending to all the different regions and business units. And on top of that, we also have an Amazonian and an ambassador program where we encourage all Amazonians to participate with on their free time. Is a voluntary program we have, and they can participate in education programs, guest speaker events, create their own initiatives. We have a very active community in Tokyo, for example, where we have eliminated a lot of the office waste, and we are also bringing these tips now in the working from home setting. We're bringing these tips home as well to improve the overall carbon impact. So we are thinking about having very concrete actions, but then also leave it open to innovate more where we can.
That's fantastic. So it goes down to the employee level that you create an overall awareness, even at
yes.
the employee level. And how does it look like, this ambassador program, if you can speak a little bit more specifically about this?
Yes, of course. So we have different programs that are targeted either for corporate, for fulfillment center, because the population is very different. Now we have different actions. And in the corporate office, for example, we open it up to all the Amazonians that are in Japan. So we send an email to all the employees saying, we are opening this ambassador program. If you want to join and be an active participant, you can. If you just want to learn what we are doing, you can also just join our group, and then we will keep you posted. And from this, we started to consolidate some ideas that the Amazonians were bringing. Now, the first question is, how can we reduce our environmental impact in the office? Because when we make a change in the office, it will impact everybody. So it has a cultural effect and a snowball effect that will impact all the senior leaders as well, because whether they like it or not, there are changes coming to the office that are initiatives driven by the ambassador program. I'll give you an example. We were working on, it's actually a global challenge to eliminate all the single-use cups in the offices. And the dependency on vending machines in Japan made this quite a challenge as well. But we have created that mechanism, and we have created that culture. And now everybody in the office was, before COVID happened, was using their reusable cup, including from VP level to analyst level. Everybody was using their own cup, and it was not a choice. It was a process that was approved and then was rolled out across the office. Other initiatives that the ambassadors have come up with was an umbrella rental program. For example, there's a lot of umbrella waste in Japan, so we created these active lost and found umbrella rental program for all the Amazonians, that they can bring if they forget the umbrella, or if they, instead of buying a new one, they can bring one that was at some point forgotten in the office, and therefore avoiding to purchase a new one. And finally, for example, in the canteen, we have been working with the facilities in the office to eliminate all the plastic utensils and replace it by wood ones, and also offering incentives if you bring your own bento box, or if you bring your own bottle of water instead of using something from the canteen. So these are just some of the initiatives that were driven by Amazonians outside of their scope of work. It has created a huge impact. And from these, a lot of people were coming to the sustainability group saying, I have this idea to reduce the impact on my business unit. And they come for us for reference to understand what kind of strategies they can implement and roll out at a bigger scale as well.
So sustainability as a mindset, and starting from the employee level, how would that then also translate? You talked about how people are enthusiastic and they do it outside the scope of their work, so they can give a new purpose to being an Amazonian, like you say. And how is that also perceived from the outside world, and what are you doing actually to improve the image towards the outside world in terms of sustainability?
So that's a good question. So from the ambassador program, we have also activities that the ambassadors engage on their free time. For example, they are very active in beach cleanup and plugging. And with these, we partner with some NGOs that are working and having activities in this field. So we are able to bring this effort forward. aside from the ambassador program, we also have a very active community program and community support that is being led by a specific team. So it's an active, engaging program that is helping to support our communities with social and environmental impact. So this is some of the ways that we bring the message and the culture of sustainability also outwards. Also, in terms of a more big scale level, for example, what we want to achieve and why we co-funded the Climate Pledge was to invite other companies to join us in this challenge. So the Climate Pledge states that you need to be very transparent in your metrics. You need to create mechanisms to reduce your carbon, and alone is very difficult to achieve these goals. But if we work together, we can have a much bigger impact by sharing the best methodologies. And therefore, we
some of the companies you have included in this initiative, which was your initiative, and then you invited other companies to join.
Sorry, the Climate Pledge?
The Climate Pledge.
Yes, so the Climate Pledge was co-funded with Global Optimism. Amazon was the first signatory, but is open for others to join as well. And we are challenging other companies to join us in signing these commitments. We have already a lot of companies that joined that we will be able to disclose later, but not in this session, but later when it's publicly announced. And we are again increasing the challenge and having the call to action for all the other companies to join if they wish so as well.
That's fantastic. So the Global Optimism, that's a movement which was started by Cristiana Figueres, who had been UN diplomat for climate policies and is also the daughter of the president of Costa Rica, right?
Yeah, and she actually designed the SDGs now. So all our actions in Amazon now are very much aligned with the SDGs. I have a slide on these later on as well. Then I can give you a breakdown on how our initiatives are in line with the SDGs as well.
Great. So maybe we can talk a little bit. I mean, Amazon is not a company which produces their own products, as far as I know. Maybe in the meanwhile you also produce your own products, but I wanted to speak a little bit in terms of circular economy and some of the areas you have already been touching when you spoke about how you get climate change and these kind of things. But yeah, maybe you can highlight a little bit what kind of activities Amazon is foreseeing in terms of circular economy.
Yeah, of course. So as you mentioned, we sell a lot of things, from A to Z, everything you can find on Amazon. And then we also have our own devices. Now, Amazon devices are becoming very popular. So we have different programs across the different streams. For example, we have a recycling, internally we have recycling initiatives where we are engaging with specialized recycle partners to transform some of our byproduct from the operations. I'll give you an example. In UK, I was part of that project. In UK, we partnered with the animal bedding company that was recycling all our wax paper from the labels that we apply on the boxes. So the reel was being collected and then recycled and transformed into animal bedding. So it was one of initiative that came also from the ambassador program, curiously, and has created a lot of opportunity to think outside the box on how can we bring circular economy to the business. We are also identifying other partners for recycling operational waste, and we have invested over $10 million in the Closed Loop Fund that is researching methodologies to improve recyclability and circular economy movements. Additional projects that we have, for example, are still in touch also with the community impact. We have a donations program that is donating food and non-food items to charities, to local charities. And last year we launched the donation program as well for third-party sellers, which was a very big challenge. And this is currently expanding across the globe. There's always specific challenges we need to face locally to implement certain projects, but we are expanding the donations globally as well. That internal engagement I already mentioned to you. And finally, Amazon Second Chance, which is a program that we are also expanding globally, where we have a trading service where you can sell back items that you no longer use, but they are still in good condition. We also offer information on how to recycle, how to repair Amazon devices, how to refurbish Amazon devices. You can find as well refurbished electronics that to kind of bring a new life from this trading service. This trading service that we offer. And finally, we also provide information on packaging recycling. So depending on the region, if the customer is not aware or not sure how they should recycle the packaging they receive, we provide the instructions as well on our website. So these are some of the initiatives we have around circular economy that are impacting internally and also customer.
Amazon devices, that would be something like Alexa, or
yes.
What kind of own devices do you produce as Amazon? Just to
we have
memory.
Yeah, we have Alexa, we have Kindle, we have Fire TV. There's a couple of new devices in certain regions, like the Ring, the glasses. What else? Let me think. The Alexa part now has different variations of product as well, but yeah, I think those ones actually they are showing here also on this image. You know, the Alexa Dot and the Alexa with the TV and the Fire TV, etc.
Fantastic. So it's really fascinating to see. Like you said, Amazon is a huge company and has a huge impact. And if companies like Amazon actually show a good leadership in sustainability, they might have an impact on many other companies as well, and all the companies and people who also use Amazon to distribute their products. So I would like to come to the last kind of section of our panel and a little bit about the thought leadership and how Amazon as a brand would like to go forward to become a leader in sustainability.
Okay, so as we mentioned, we have a lot of top-down approach and bottom-up approach as well, as I explained before. So we have this massive goal of the climate pledge of being carbon neutral by 2040 by having all these different streams goals across the business units. But then we also have the bottom-up approach, which is all the innovation that our employees and our partners also support us with. So bringing on the day one mentality that we are very famous for, innovating internally and continually adding new strategies and methodologies, is something that we are very active on. And we do this with our own resources, but we also leverage a lot on the dozens of partnerships that we have across the globe towards this specific challenge. Then collaborating externally, again, call out for all the companies to join the climate pledge and participate with us in this very difficult challenge that is being carbon neutral. So on this part, we also engage with suppliers and service providers towards helping them understand what kind of reshape they can do in their own company to reduce their carbon footprint. We do this directly with our, for example, product suppliers, and we have different mechanisms available on our website where we have a challenge for certain suppliers to eliminate or improve their primary packaging, so we don't have to add any other packaging on top of it. And also a lot of the mechanisms that we are building to report on the carbon footprint is also publicly available, so other companies can start to incorporate these. Sorry, my voice is going, I don't know why. So incorporate these initiatives.
Actually, we already have come to an end, and if we can stop the sharing and come back to the screen.
Okay, I had one more slide. I don't know, Christian, if you can give me 2 more minutes.
Okay, I don't know how they manage this then, but yeah, why not? Please,
okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So again, focus culture on sustainability, serving community, and serving our customers is the ultimate goal with all our actions. And finally, as I promised in the beginning, we have all the different streams goals that we have aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. So operations, packaging, social responsibility, employees and communities, sustainability in the cloud, and tech for good have their own alignment with the SDGs.
Would you like to share your screen again quickly to show
Oh,
this? Or?
okay. Sorry.
Okay, the
So,
Sustainable Development Goals.
yeah, yeah. So all the different verticals we operate in align with the SDGs. I think they are a really good framework to incentivize companies to do more and better. And then if you want to know more about our initiatives, just feel free to click on our website on sustainability. There's a lot of information there, and you can find out more about it.
That's fantastic, and I think that only in this short amount of time we could learn a lot about the activities of Amazon, and we can be very confident that if companies like Amazon lead with a good example, that others will follow, and that we actually can really co-create this better tomorrow. So I thank you very much again for the time, and hope that yeah, we can do something to work on this goal to co-create a better tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Christian.
Thank you.